For this week, I completed drawing this realistic head from imagination without any reference to see whether I actually improved over the last 3 weeks from just drawing heads. And let me tell you, drawing heads is not easy, and so is getting it.
So no head?
And I'm shocked, and in a good way this time. And as you all know, I'm spending all of 2026 completing an illustration every week on top of my draining full-time job while making these videos at the same time. So that's 1 year to complete 52 illustrations in 52 weeks. And from week 6 through 8, I said I would focus on drawing heads. And today we've just finished week 8, meaning we are done with drawing head portraits and illustrations. Traditionally, in my previous weeks, I would work on one piece of fan art for 5 working days. And if you've seen my content, I'll show you the progress in order from days 1 to 5 from that week. But this week was different. From days 1 to 3, I just practice heads. Here's day 1. And for days 2 and 3, I practiced this head fucking thing. But from the midweek stream, which happens on the night of day 3 by the way, I finally made a start on this week's piece. Meaning I technically finished this in 3 days, if you pretend I didn't have a 3-hour head start on my Wednesday night stream. But this was the progress from the night of day 3, this was the progress for day 4, and lo and behold, this is the progress for day 5, aka the final day of week 8. So let's talk about this. At the very beginning of week 6, I made it a goal to escape the uncanny valley of my faces. And now I believe that goal has been achieved. Figuring out the angle of the head was difficult as fuck. Normally at extreme angles, especially from below or above the head, a lot of the facial features are squished closer together because that's just perspective 101, baby. Remember, I had no reference to go off other than to use the Loomis method and what little knowledge I had of perspective to put this together. And because I'm not that good at perspective, my original head looked deformed and squished rather than looking like it's being viewed from a lower angle. So I spent days 4 and 5 recoloring and using the liquify tool to reshape the structure of the head so it looks angled rather than squashed. And don't get me started with the hair, I don't know where I was going with it. And because my goal is to complete an illustration every week, that means I have to fully color and render everything to completion, or at least to the best of my ability until the end of the week. And after 8 weeks of illustrations, you can tell I have much better value control compared to the start of this year. And that consistency really helped in bringing out the realism of the face. Now this isn't photographically realistic per se, but my goal isn't hyper-realism. It's to be in full control of lighting and color to create a painterly and almost Renaissance-like art style, with big elements of realism that can only be achieved if I am consistent with learning the fundamentals. And after absolutely raw dogging this week's illustration, I can actually see that I'm improving. But that doesn't mean I'm done here. We still have another 44 weeks to go, and I ain't planning on stopping here until I see this challenge through to the end. But alas, we have reached the end of the week, and once again, thank you for sticking by with me for all of this week. Follow or subscribe to any of my stuff, only if you feel like it though, but otherwise I will see you tomorrow for the start of week 9. Bye! Yeah.